Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the pre-market live show. Today is Tuesday, July 22nd, and the market's a little bit flat. Nvidia's down, Google and Meta are up. So let's see what's going on. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And here we go. Let me slide that over and let me make sure it's still working, because every time I move it, it likes to get unplugged, but it's still working. Here we go. How is everybody this morning? And there's our heat map right there. And like I said, a little bit flat right there. We'll look at the SPY first thing and see what's going on right here. There we go. It is down a little bit, and I'm telling you guys, something's going on, and this thing's about to pull back. We've been saying it, and here we go. I think we're about to start it. So I would say let's get through the market, see what's going on here. I didn't even post out the Jolie's jumpers or the laptop lowdowns this morning. I totally forgot to. I was just kind of running around doing a few things. Let me see. Did I even see them? That's the thing. Hold on. I didn't even know if I saw them this morning. That's why I don't think I posted them out. There's the Joey's jumpers right here. They were scrolled. They were down a little bit. My bad. And the laptop lowdowns, did I even see them? I'm not even sure, but we could always go through the list from, he did send a great drone list as well, so we could hit that or save that for later. Here, we'll just go through the Joey's jumpers real quick. We'll see what's going on. We'll look at the market. We'll see what's happening here. And here we go with ANGH, guys, and let's see what that's doing right here. ANGH, and that is up a little bit this morning. It looks like it was running up yesterday. ANGH, let's see. And it was running up yesterday, down a little bit this morning. Looks like it had a little run around 51, and then it came down a little bit right there. It's at 50. ANGH, not even familiar with that one. And Bloom's right here, BLMZ. Oh, I to type it in right, BLMZ right here, and that is up this morning. I did see that up moving, and there you go with good old Blooms. That's blooming up there. It was up yesterday and running up today right there. And DFLH, which one is that? DFLH, are we familiar with that? I'm not even sure what that is. DFLH, I'm not even sure what that is. Actually, it could be a typo right there. I'm trying to think what it is. Farm right here. Let me see what Farm is up to. We've looked at Farm recently. It was running up yesterday. Looks like it could have a little healthy pullback right there and continue to run up. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this Farm right here. You can see that jumped up. It's hitting some resistance. We'll see if it has some healthy pullback. And how about that GVH there? It did blast off after the reverse split right there. I guess I was just a little bit too early on that one, that's for sure. It was running up some more this morning. You can see it opened at 1160 yesterday. It closed at 983, and it's at 1063 right now, so it's still moving up there. And let's see, it's still not back to it. Would be just getting back to where you had gotten in probably before the reverse split, and that's why we do not like when they reverse split, because they dip down, but we love when they do reverse split because they do pop after. So it's a love-hate situation. You don't want to be in them as they announce the reverse split, but you do want to get in it after it does reverse split. So there you go. That is what they look like, and or what GVH looks like right now, and it is running up, but it's okay. And IPDN right here, let's look at that bad boy. IPDN, Professional Diversity Network, and that's getting set up. It's running up right now and not looking bad right there. IPDN, let's see. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. A little healthy pullback right there, but nothing crazy. Does look like it's going to continue its way up. LCFY right here, Locify Limited, and let's see, that's running up this morning. It looks like LCFY. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's jumped up there. I'm not so sure it's going to stay up. As you can see, 946 to 1015. It's in the sixes right now, so that one ran up and came back. That's for sure. And let's see what else is going on here. NCNA, we were looking at this bad boy. It was looking good the other day, and that's starting to crawl up there and look a little better, hitting some resistance right there. So I'm not sure if it's going to run up anymore, but it did get a little bit of a spike up. PMN, Promise, Neurosciences, and this one spiked up yesterday, a little bit of pullback right there. And let's see what that RAYA is doing this morning. That's up 2 cents, and that's one that we're going to keep on the list right here. RAYA with that dip yesterday. Look at that dip. And then this morning, a little bit of bounce, but nothing crazy. And that's one to keep an eye on right there in electrical equipment parts in China. And Wang and Lee is moving, and we were definitely early to the party on this one. You guys know that. And it is up pretty nice today. And there you go. So we knew that was running, and we were all over Wang and Lee because we had been all over it for a little while and had noticed these spike ups right here. And now you're running, and we'll try to get back up to that 50 right there. So we were on that one, and there you go with your Jolie's jumpers. And here we go, laptop travel. He must have sent them to me. I didn't even notice, but here they go. We'll look at our lowdowns right here. Is at the Lion, and let's see what that Lion's doing. Nice pullback. It was setting up. A lot of these that are getting that good setup now are pulling all the way back, and then they're starting to pop off. So we'll be keeping an eye on that Lion right there. That's a good one to keep an eye on. So I'll watch that. BCTX is Briacel, and that's way down there, and we'll see if it keeps dipping down. It might level down a little bit more. So that one could continue to dip, and Krev right here is a good dipper. So watch that one pull back some more. And EDHL, let's see what that's up to, Everbright. And that's going to start to curl up. It's not ready, and it may not even curl through, but it will run up a little bit as it curls up. And GSIW right there, Garden Stage, that's a big dip right there. Capital Market in Hong Kong. Not sure what went wrong there, but it does have a big old dip, and we're gonna have to keep our eye on that. Look at that dip right there yesterday, so that will be a good one. And MOB, this one pulled back yesterday, as a matter of fact. Saw it running up, and then big pullback right there. We'll see if that's healthy for MOB. And PFSA right here, Profusa, and this one is starting to curl. It is going to make that big fish hook. It's just going to take it a while, and it will start to run up there. So that's one to keep on the list right there. And SBEV, this one is down and dipping down a little bit more. I'm just curious what SBET's doing. It was pulling back a little bit, and that's pulling back, but probably going to get set back up right there. So we'll keep an eye on that SBET. And VWAV. That's it. Vision Wave, that's way down there too. So there's some good ones right here. We were just looking at Wint run up the other day, and it's pulling back a little bit. You might have that spike up on Wint soon, so you can keep an eye on Wint. And that YHC took a huge run up the other day and then pulled back. And that one could try to get curled up. Maybe it's trying to bottom right there for YHC. And let's take a look at ZKIN, and we'll see what the rest of the market's doing. And this one had been running up there. You can see it spike, and then a little bit of pullback right there yesterday. So not doing much yet this morning, it doesn't look like. But we'll have a little bit of pullback. That's a China steel company right there. And there you go. And just to run through the steel ones real quick. That doesn't look too bad. That one, HLP, is not looking too bad. Some of these steel ones look at LUD up. So steel not looking too bad at the moment. Right there, a couple of them jumping up. And there we are with them guys. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what this market is doing right now. And let's see what our SPY is at. It is down 20 cents, 23. We know Powell is doing some speaking at about 8:30. Actually, it doesn't look too bad right there. It is down. It could reverse up. Let me see what the SPY looks like here. And that doesn't look too bad, to be honest. But I'm telling you, you're going to see some pullback there. It's definitely coming. Let's put it that way. Let's run through and see what's going on here, and we'll see what the big caps, Mag 7, and everybody else are doing. Let's see. Apple. What did I type in right there? AAPL. I'm putting two P's in. That's not it. There it is. Up a little bit right there. Looks like it wants to spike up, but it is flat. Looks like it's waiting for something, but has that good look. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. That is for sure, because something's going on here. Amazon just a little flat as well, and these things did want to curl up pretty good. But again, something is going on. Powell is speaking at 8:30. We'll see if he resigns. That'll be interesting. And here's Amazon just kind of sitting there flat, not really doing a whole lot. And Google was looking good as well. It is up this morning into the top, not looking bad going into earnings soon. So Google is looking pretty good right there. We did know that. And Meta right here is hitting that 20, and I don't know if it's going to get through right there. It looks like it might get pushed down. So that one is an interesting look right there for Meta. And let's look what our Microsoft is doing. The chandelier hanging up here, and it is coming down. And I'm telling you, if this thing stays in the top any longer, I'll be completely amazed. But it needs to come down, that's for sure. It's way up there, and they do have earnings coming up, and maybe it's waiting for earnings. I have no idea, but these things will be retracing, I can tell you that, relatively soon. And you don't want to get caught in that dip. In the video right here, look at it pulling back some, and we'll see if it can stay over the MACD. And in the top, I'm not exactly sure. It depends on what's going on today, market conditions. And Tesla, you can tell it's a little flat, and you can't tell exactly, but something's going on here. And Tesla right here hitting resistance and just waiting for something to happen. And obviously, they have their earnings coming up tomorrow to kick them off with the big one. So there you go. Tesla's tomorrow, and that's what our Mag 7 looks like. Let's look at the rest of these guys, see what's going on here. AMC's down a penny. GameStop was looking pretty good there. It's down a hair, a little bit of healthy pullback right there. Nothing too crazy. And our Chewy had been trying to get set up. It's down there. It was a little pullback, and I think you are getting set up on Chewy right there. So definitely keep your eye on that one. And Netflix right here was trying to rebound, but again, I think Netflix is coming down some more, and you see that look, here it comes. So I do think Netflix will be coming down. AVGO, it was up a little bit, I think, in the after hours, maybe. I forget, but it is pulling back here in another one. I just don't think that they're going up into the top and running anymore. I think that run might be over, and you're going to see some pullback MU. You're already seeing it come back down to the 50 right there, and that has been pulling back. So has some support there, but it could even come down through that. It depends. Like I said, if that market gets really red, these are going to fall. And TSM is falling down right there. And that's what we're looking at, guys. SMCI is just kind of holding itself up. It wasn't looking bad, but it's not looking great at the moment either. Excuse me, an AMD not looking bad in a bullish trend, but I think you're going to see some pullback there as well. QCOM was trying to set up, and again, I just don't think it's going to run like it should have, and I do think you're going to see these things pulling back. That's what it looks like to me. And Intel right here is pulling back a hair. And let's look at our PayPal. It was looking pretty good, and even that's down, but a little bit of healthy pullback. But PayPal looks like it's trying to get set up to pop up there, so you can keep an eye on that one. And good old Snow, it's coming down, guys. It was way up. And I think Snow is going to be falling, and Dell is falling down a little bit this morning. So I do think we're going to see some dippage here. And I think August may have a little bit of dip pullback happening in the market, and it's going to be a healthy one. Well, it's going to be a good one, but it's going to be healthy because we're going to get all them great prices at the bottom and run them back up, and then you're going to make a bunch of money there. And we'll actually take them down with the ETFs as well. Like I said, I've been paying attention to all the ETFs to see how they look, and they're right there, guys. You know, I've been watching them for like 2 to 3 weeks. And I usually am 2 to 3 weeks early. So Palantir, a little bit of pullback. Could jump up a little bit more, but be careful. And Sophie's coming down out of the top. And there you go, like I was saying. And here's Mara. They're not bad, but again, I just don't think they're going to run these crypto ones that do the mining. They just don't have the margins that I think that they did before. With the after they have the margins get less and less. You can see it'll set up to be bullish. I just don't know if it's going to run like last cycle. These things were up over like $100. It was crazy. So I do remember that. And let's look at MicroStrategy right here. And that is up this morning. MicroStrategy is a different one. He's got the biggest Bitcoin treasury, and Clean Spark, yeah, Clean Spark right here is just kind of hanging out. Looks like it's trying to set back up right there. And here is your Coinbase. It's up a little bit, trying to stay in the top. Looks like it wants to. And Robinhood looks like it's coming down. So be careful with Coinbase, that's for sure. Bull had been setting up. It's up a little bit right there, a little healthy pullback there yesterday, but we'll see if it's going to continue at the moment. And DJT was up. And that fun wasn't looking too bad there. Let me type it in. Here we go. What am I typing in here? PHUN. Still can't type 100%, but I'm telling you guys, my finger, holy cow! I think maybe like by the end of the week, I'm not going to be wrapping it up, and I'll show you guys. Like it literally looks like I grew a finger back. I couldn't believe it last night when I cleaned it. I was like, this thing is crazy, guys. I mean, still some skin showing, but it's just wild. I'm telling you, if you had seen it when it happened, it was, and the days after, it was like, oh my goodness, it was bad. And literally it just like grew back like it was no big deal in like a week. I'm blown away completely. I've never seen anything like it in my life, but I'll take it, that's for sure. And Mountain right here is, I think, going to pull back. It was trying to set up there, but I do think you're going to have a little pullback. And McDonald's is just kind of setting up, going to run in that channel for a little bit, and that might have a little run. Boeing too, watch it. It looks like it wants to roll off, but all of a sudden can fall down and get a nice dip in. And Space has been running up, looking good in the top right now, but you know, it will get topped out. It doesn't like to run up there too long. And here is IBM trying to get set up, and I don't think it's going to curl through. And when are their earnings? Because they are coming up as well, and they are tomorrow. So IBM's earnings are tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to kick it off with Tesla, IBM, and some other ones. Going to be an interesting week, that's for sure, and especially with Powell speaking in about an hour. I can't wait to see what's going on here. Disney coming down a little bit, Luis Rodriguez, and they are just there stepping down. And again, are they going to stop at these support lines or just get crushed down? It's hard to tell. Usually you can tell a little better, but it's a hard one to tell, because I think we have a few weeks of pullback here, and if they do that, they will pull back a little lower. They're not going to come down to April's prices, but they will be down there and be good opportunities. And that is why you don't want to get caught at the top. So anyway, there's Disney, and let's look at our Oxy right here. OXY, and there you go. It's dipping down a little bit, but we could see a nice setup. We'll be keeping an eye. And again, I thought the oil and gas was getting set up the other day, and it still could be. Might take a little longer. Right here, you can see Gush isn't moving. We'll see how it opens up today, and maybe it's going to get set up there and have a little base right here and then get running. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what's going on. And let's see what else we're looking at. And there you go. Let me see what you guys are looking at. As a matter of fact, let me just run through and look at the Bear ETFs right here, APPD. Look at that guy getting set up right there. So as good as Apple looks, you can see there's going to be some pullback happening. And let's look at our SPXS, and that is looking pretty decent. Look at that. That looks like it's going to reverse right there. You don't see that candle anywhere else. And there you go. So I do think you're about to see that reversal. And I know I'm always 2 to 3 weeks early, and I was being a little more cautious, but you can see why you don't want to get caught in these things when they start ripping down. And AMZD, this one looks like it's touching that bottom right there, so it might have a little more of a dip. Why Amazon runs up a hair, but that will get reversed as well. And let's see what Google's doing right here. The bull. Oh, that's the bull. Hold on. GGLS is the bear right there. And that's pulling back into the basement. You can see. And again, once they get into the basement, they do pop out. Look at this thing right there. And they don't stay, these ETFs don't stay in there very long. So that gives you a good idea right there. Couple days, maybe a week at the most, and that's about it. So you go back and look at history, and it usually repeats itself. So that's something that I'd pay attention to. ETD right there. That one's kind of falling back a little bit for the Meta one, but again, look at it on the 20 right there. You could be getting into that channel. It did run up yesterday, and it could be just a little healthy pullback. And MSFD, I've been watching this one pretty good. MSFD is the Microsoft bear, and look at that thing. I mean, holy cow, look at that in the basement for that long. That's getting reversed around. NVDD is an important one to check out here, and look at it rolling up there, trying to get out of the basement. So if you see that run up, you could see the rest of them just come down for sure. And TSLS right there is your Tesla one, and it's just a little bit flat. So there you go. Excuse me. And that's what I've been looking at. That's what your market looks like at the moment. Again, the SPY is down. It doesn't even look terrible this morning, but I do think it's coming down. And Powell does speak. Let's see what you guys want to look at up here. And we did go through our laptop lowdowns. Thank you very much for them, guys. And AMD, like I said, we went through it, and it looks like it's trying to stay in the top right there, but it is pulling back along with the other semiconductors. And that's what we have been saying, that these bad boys, I think, are coming back there. BMNR. What is that Bitmine doing right here? Just making a base. And again, I think it has a little bit of time before these guys get set back up. BTCT right here, kind of just hanging out, a little bit of healthy pullback. Again, they could pull back a little bit, and that's why we were looking at them, but I wasn't that crazy about them. BT right here, Bit Digital, and that's pulling back. So that is all them capital market ones right there. LCFY was overnight alert, was over in 5 minutes right there, guys. So how crazy is that? Locify, and it did jump up, but it comes right down, and it is up a little bit right there this morning. But there you go. And look at that thing gapped up there. It closed yesterday at 5:53 today. It opened at 9:46, got up to the 10s, but it is still in the 6s, so it is up. But there you go, LCFY. Nice one there, laptop travel. And IVF, I think they are about to do a reverse splitter. Didn't they just do it? Yeah, they just did it, and it's popping up right there. Look at that. Reverse split yesterday, pop up today. So maybe we got to pull out the reverse splitters. I'll look at them and see what's reverse splitting right there, Central Florida, because they are popping up. Like I said, that GVH is as well, and it is up there. But again, you probably would just be right about where, not even to where you'd bought in. So that's why you can't be involved in them when they're reverse splitting, but you love when they reverse split to get in right after that. And you can see IVF is like way up there this morning. Not a whole lot of big poppers there. But some are wangingly up. We knew that one, so we did know the ones running up there. And let's see IVF, that reverse split, and Google does want to go higher there, so we'll pay attention to Google right here, see what it wants to do. But again, it's in the top, has earnings today or tomorrow, so be very careful with these guys, because we don't know. I'm telling you, something's happening there, and there's your earnings for tomorrow for Google. So, and Bitcoin, let's do our crypto report right here. And there you go. And I was looking at the stock cube earlier. I did see some of them have a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy. There's your Bitcoin at 119. And let's just go through and check them out real quick. And it is just hitting the MACD, and it looks like it's trying to bounce back up, is what it looks like at the moment. Let's see what the rest of these look like. Ethereum pretty topped out. Looks like a little healthy pullback. We'll see if they want to stay in the top. Solana's ripping up there in the top. Solana could little healthy pullback and rip up a little bit higher right there. And Ripple right here is making a nice base, trying to crawl up into the top some more, but they could pull back some. And I don't know how much they're going to come back. I don't think they're going to come back to the 20s, to be completely honest with you. If anything, they're making a nice base, maybe a little dippage there, but they are making good bases up here and trying to hold themselves up. You can see Doge trying to do the same thing. Cardano ADA right here in the top, just trying to keep itself in there. But again, you might see that pullback. Maybe that one comes back down a little bit, and you get retested to run back up. Look at XLM making that huge base up there. So a lot of them made a really nice base. Chainlink was been making that base. It was up in the 20s yesterday. SUI, big base up there as well. And let's look at Optimism right there. And that one's been cruising up trying to make a base. So Bitcoin, I would say, is just waiting for something today. I would could have a little more healthy pullback, but nothing real crazy. And the ETF was back at like 2.4. And if it, I'm telling you, it was looking good. If it can get spiked up there a little bit more and people stop selling it, a big sell-offs, it'll continue to move up. It's at 2.3 right now. And let's see, it does. Yeah, I'm telling you, it looks like it wants to get cruising, guys. So looks like it could spike up pretty big. So keep your eyes on that as well. And let's see what else is going on in here. And Bitcoin waiting on the Trump effect. I think they are just putting their ducks in a row. DJT wants BTC to run. I agree. Laptop travel. They're just loading up too. Everybody loading up at these high prices. I was telling my buddy, I've been buying it and averaging up, but my averages were so low that it was just completely insane, guys. So I've been buying it before and buying it pretty well. So I do have a lot, and it is way up. That's for damn sure. And you guys know I've been saying it for a while there. And SPXS looks wicked right there. So let's see. And like I said, it's kind of just floating right there. There's your wick at the bottom, and it does look like it wants to curl up. So beware of that. And Disney head and shoulders chart formation on the daily may need to add to the put. Like I said, these things are going to be pulling back, guys. You can see it already happening. You'll probably come right down to that 117 area there, Luis Rodriguez. So there you go with that. And let's look at that JNUG, because I'll tell you what, the gold was looking good. I had mentioned it, and it is just sitting right there. I think gold's getting set up to try to run through relatively soon. So you're about to see gold running, and the metals looking nug. That one wants to get set up. So yeah, we're about to see these things run. And like I said, I think oil and gas is also set up right there. And let's look at this Robin Energy right here. That's up. That's getting ready to try to get cruising again as well. Look at it. That 20 is going to curl it up right there. Let's look at that TMDE. It did pull back some, and that could have been a nice little bottom. Might be a great opportunity. It ran up right there and then had a little healthy pullback. So we'll see if that's a great opportunity to enter again right there. And what else is going on this morning? Let me see what else is happening here as we go through the market. And let's see, Game, GAME, I know that ran up recently. Let's see what their game's all about right here. And I remember it ran up there, and that could be trying to set back up. I'll keep an eye on Game today, see what it's up to right there. You can see it might try to get pulled back up. I'll have to look at that one as it starts moving. And let's see, hoping your Google calls print even more after earnings. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on Google right there. I would say it looks pretty good to try to run up into the top right there. So it could be an interesting one. We were saying it looked good right there, and it was hopping up yesterday. So we'll be keeping an eye. And that RGTI had been pulling back. It's trying to stop right here and move back up. So that looks pretty decent again. So there you go. Hopefully it'll bounce back up there for you. Laptop travel. And let's see, defense stocks all have earnings today. That is Lockheed Martin and these guys, they do. And look at it, big old dip right there. And there's your earnings coming up. So it is pulling back, and it doesn't, like I said, you better be careful on all these earnings right here. Even Google. NOC, though, look at that one. That one popped up. Lockheed Martin dipped down. Northrop Grumman running up there. What's this Huntington Ingalls doing? I don't think they had their earnings today. It is at the end of the month right there. And that one's kind of sitting a little bit flat right there. So there you go. And let's look at the ETF DFEN. And that looks like it's way in the top and could be pulling back. So there you go. And how about that devs? Doge Mama 9 right here. Whoa, that's running up pretty well. It did spike up yesterday, and you had mentioned that the other day, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it did do a nice spike, 47 to 101 right there. And then today it's continuing to run up there, and it went 43 to 50, and it's at 47 right now. So there you go. That's a beauty. And Northrop Grumman's earnings must have been good because that's a big one. Yeah, that's up pretty big, I must say, for Northrop Grumman and OC. And it is popped up there and not looking too bad there. But again, I don't know. You can't tell anything going on right now. It's a pretty wild market, to be honest with you. And that's what it looks like at the moment. We did our crypto. What else are we looking at? We did our SPY Big Caps Mag 7, our Joe Lee's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns, and I think we got everything. The best it calls for review of Fed and deeper reforms of big bank rules. U.S. stock futures dip with earnings, tariff talks in focus. Remember, them tariffs are coming up August 1st, and the stock market has been running low on investors who want to sell. That might be starting to shift. Then S&P futures pause, rally as tariffs sap optimism, and Dow futures waiver. Earnings, Fed in spotlight. Everything's in the spotlight. Everything's crazy. There's your Wang and Lee. We were super early on it, and it's popped up there. Blooms we looked at. There's that DFLI. That's might be exactly what you Asian Joe Lee was writing. And I was trying to think of it, but there you go. DFLI, that energy one was up this morning. I know we did see that, and I did see that one up there. So that's exactly what she had tried to type there. And this RAYA, good dip. Open still trying to run up a little bit, but again, super early. NCNA was starting to move up. That TNFA, a little healthy pullback right there. And that AIRE is starting to dip back. IXHL, a little dip down as well. And Oscar, we're watching that. It's going to get set up really soon right here, guys. And GVH running up a little on the reverse split. And HCTI, I'd be careful that reverse splits, but Devs was running up there, and then GIBO just been hanging out there, not doing a whole lot there. Look at Mullen in the basement. IPDN had a spike up the other day. Let's see what Plug's doing. It's coming down. There's that Canadian aerospace and defense one, Dragonfly, and it's been running up and still trying to. And SBET, like I said, was trying to Mike curl back up. And RXRX running up a little bit. And there's that BTOG. It's at 72. It's still in the top. Just be careful of that one. It was a beautiful run up. And so was QuantumScape right there. iBit right here is kind of just making a nice base up there, almost like Bitcoin. And there's Joby. Let's see what's going on over here. It's kind of a flatter market, to be honest. Branch Out Food BOF right there was spiking up this morning. There's that big dip, GVH, IVF, and DFLI. So a bunch that we've looked at. Farm Top Wealth is way down there. Might have to take a look at that. That's bouncing out of the basement right there. Take a look at this Hong Kong one. And they just did the old reverse split. So keep an eye on Top Wealth. That could get cruising. Wang and Lee moving. MFH right here. That's a pretty good dip, I would say. That's a big dip right there as well. So you're seeing a lot of dippers, that's for sure, and things turning around. So that is what the markets look like, I must say. And let's see what's happening here. Coca-Cola beat their earnings, and if you there you go. It's down a little bit. They beat their earnings. I'm not sure what happened, but it is down a little bit. It was setting up and looking really good yesterday. I know that. So we'll see what that does. Coca-Cola did spike up a little bit. It looks like today 41 to 70.89. It's at 69.88. It's not looking bad right there, and it wasn't looking bad to get set up. So let's see what Samuel Adams is doing. And SPXS gave Laptop Travel Systems a buy signal at 1 a.m. this morning. So you guys know I'm always early, and I've been watching it and telling you guys. And here's that Samuel Adams, and that does look good going into earnings on July 24th in a couple days there. So yeah, keep an eye on Samuel Adams. That does look good. I know we looked at it the other day, and it was starting to set up. It spiked up yesterday and looking pretty good there for good old Sam. So at least somebody's looking good, Samuel Adams. So there you are. They must be selling some beer in the U.S. Let me see if we missed anything else here. And PEW, what is that doing? I know we were watching it, and that is that Trump Don Jr.'s on the board. And again, I think that bottomed out yesterday, and we might be starting to see that set back up there. So there you go with that one. Let me see if there's anything trending that we want to take a look at real quick. Let's see what's happening here. Oscar REPL. What's that? REPL. What is that one? Replamoon Group. I don't know what that is, but it's up. It seems to be up and crawling up a little. Maybe it has a little more momentum in it right there. And Coles. I was definitely early to the party on Coles. That's for sure. Gave you that one way before, and it has been running up. I gave you this one down here, guys, in the sixes, and we're in the tens right now. So there you go with Coles. And Google is running up a little bit, not looking bad. DJT is up some this morning. Remember, we were saying that was setting up, and then the chart changed around, and all of a sudden it jumped back up. So it's not looking bad right there. GM, what are they up to? General Motors, and that's a big old dip there. And they have earnings today as well. So I'm telling you, earnings might be rough. So get prepared for some dippage here. I think that's what we're gonna see, and it's perfectly fine because we'll catch them coming down, and then we'll catch them going up. So it'll be perfectly good. And that ETF, like I said, that's trending up there at 2.3, and I think we got to them all. And Solana is ripping there, and that was also at 198. So I did say that was going to be moving the other day, and boom, there you go. And look at the market. Apple is up a little bit, and I'll be keeping an eye on it as that 8:30 approaches. And Powell is going to speak somewhere at some banking thing. And so that's what we're looking at this morning, guys. And GM also beat and is down. So GM beat their earnings, and they're down as well. And Kirk, check this out, restructuring and cost cutting plan in place. And they are a huge supplier for Costco. They are like their only, like their biggest Kirkland's. And wow, that did pop up there. That's for sure. And you might get another run up. Weren't we talking about Kirk the other day? And that was popping up there. That's for sure right there. And Clover Health is up, and Michael Anthony. I told you that was setting up right there, looking good. So there you go. A Clover, CLOV, looking pretty good, and we've gone over that. And there you go, Michael Anthony. I bet he's having a party this morning. So there you go, everybody. I would say that's a pretty good pre-market review right there. We'll see what's going on at 8:30, and when the Fed speaks or Powell speaks, what happens. And but yeah, it's a weird one here, guys. So put your cautions on and see what's going on, and don't force anything is what I would say. And it's been a few days on Laptop Travels charts as well for Kirk. Yeah, I know it was popping up there on the scanners and stuff, and I guess that's why. So it did pop up. We gotta pay attention to our scanners a little bit better, I think, because they definitely tell you what's going on. That's why I went through and put a bunch on the list last night, and I will do that each night, change it up a little bit, change up the list, so we're not looking at all the same ones all the time. And we'll pop up, we'll find all the good poppers. And Lucid's been running up here for a little bit as well, and that's a nice little healthy pullback. So we'll check that out and see how that looks today. So there you go, everybody. I'd say that is a good pre-market review right there. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I will be posting the Joe Exotic interview, and guys, holy cow, this is going to be a two-part interview now, because I'm going to have to call him on Thursday, or he's going to call me. I'm not calling him, he's in prison. He's going to call me back on Thursday so that we can resume our conversation. So you have to check out this interview. And our conversation was absolutely insane, guys. I don't know how I even get into these things with people, but I just sit back and start talking, and then the next thing you know, it's crazy. So yeah, I'm telling you, you have to listen to it. I'm about to post it up in a few minutes so you guys can see it. And yeah, it's pretty it's eye-opening, that's for sure. And again, I'm gonna have to talk to him again Thursday because I'm gonna have 100 more questions for him. I did a bunch of research last night, and you'll hear what we were talking about, and you guys can check it out. And it is pretty baffling. I had no idea all this was out there and going on. So yeah, you have to listen to what he had to say last night because he just went all out and told the whole story and all kinds of behind the scenes stuff and all this like information. And holy cow, guys, it was quite intriguing, I must say. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to talk to him again on Thursday before the show. So we'll do it, and so we won't change the time. He's gonna call around 8 o'clock. I'll talk to him for like a half hour and do a second part because I know, like I said, I'll be checking out some information again today and tonight and doing a little more research. But holy cow, when you listen to this thing, just check out the site that he talks about. And I think it's Joe Exotic Official, I believe it is. And it is pretty crazy. So you will hear that interview. I'll post it up there in a few. So check it out. It was like 30 minutes or so. We were talking for a little while. And again, he puts out a ton of crazy information. I mean, it's a wild guy. So there you go. And that is the Joe Exotic update. So you guys can check that out. And like I said, I have to look into it or somebody check it out because I don't look at this stuff. But see if that was one of the biggest shows on Netflix. It had to have been just because of the timing, and it was global sensation. The Tiger King. So I'm assuming it might be one of the biggest shows that Netflix had ever had. There might be a couple that are bigger. Obviously, they've had some huge shows, but that had to have been a huge success. And yeah, he was in jail when that thing happened. So kind of crazy story. But yeah, when you hear what he has to say from last night, it's like really, really crazy, guys, what was going on. And it makes you think and look at like our judicial system, the government, everything. I mean, it's eye-opening, guys. And I'm telling you, all the evidence is out there. He has it on a website. I was searching through it last night. So you'll listen to it and then you can check it out because it is crazy. And again, we've all been fascinated with that story because we all watched it during COVID, the whole Tiger King thing and everything that happened. So very intriguing. And yeah, it was really cool to talk to Joe again and catch up with him, but a lot of crazy information. So I'll put that up there. You guys can listen to it, check it out, watch it. And like I said, we'll be having another call this week because this has to be a two-parter. I had no idea, but it ended up turning into a two-part call here, which is totally cool with me because I'm telling you, I think it's a lot of useful, crazy information. This interview might get some traction right here. I'm telling you, wait until you hear it. It's pretty wild, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm looking forward to posting it up. It's all edited. I'll post that up there. So there you go. Netflix revenue off of Joe Exotic, roughly 8.32 million in monthly revenue from new subscribers alone. But this is a rough estimate as Netflix doesn't break down subscriber growth by specific titles. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, and that, again, that was during COVID, so you had a big spike in people subscribing for one, and people watching it around the clock, and including myself. Again, you guys know I watch like zero TV. I don't watch any movies, no shows, nothing. I don't see anything on television, and put some sports on in the background. That's about it. And yeah, I actually saw all of the Tiger King series. I remember I was like fascinated by it and putting it on, and I don't care to watch anything. So for me to put something on, sit down, it's going to be pretty interesting, that's for sure. So yeah, it was watched by 34.3 million unique viewers in its first 10 days, guys. First 10 days, and then it went worldwide. So you're talking it was a global sensation. I know that. And again, the timing of it all is just sometimes that's everything. Timing can be everything. But yeah, he was already in prison when this thing just blows up and becomes one of like the biggest shows during COVID. It was the biggest thing. Everybody was talking about Tiger King. That's for sure. I remember that. And so yeah, interesting stuff, and it's crazy to get to talk to him from prison. But wait till you hear what he had to say. I'm telling you, if you want the scoop on the whole Tiger King thing, you'll listen to this, and it's going to be a two-parter. So I'll put that out. You guys can listen, and and enjoy that because it's crazy. I'm not going to lie. So there you go, everybody. We'll be watching this market pretty closely. You know that something's going on here. We've been saying it, and we do see that pullback happening. So just be careful there. And that's what I'm looking at. So I'll keep you guys posted. And there you go for the pre-market review right there. I would say that's a pretty good one today, and then I'll post the Joe Exotic interview up so you guys can enjoy that while the market's just sitting here. And Wall Street futures fall on company earnings, so tariff uncertainty. I'm telling you guys, we're about to see that pullback here. So good morning, GM. Good morning, GM. GM's profit sinks as Trump's tariffs take a $1 billion bite right there. And so, yeah, he's just changed around a little bit. And so some of them did, these couple did. But anyway, there you go. That's what we're looking at. And TWG, yeah, we were already looking at that top wealth right there. And that top wealth group, yeah, had that reverse split and was running up. We saw that this morning right there. Thank you, Jimbo Scal, and everybody else that tunes in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and chiming in. Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, Doge Mama 9, and Jimbo over there, and everybody else that usually tunes in and chimes in. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and make sure you follow along on YouTube X, and I'll be posting the interview on the YouTube. I'll post it on the X as well. So if you have any questions, hit me up on X, and we'll see what's going on here. I'll be watching the market pretty closely. Luis Rodriguez, he doesn't watch any television either. There you go, Luis. We're kind of very similar, I think. Just talking to you. So yeah, I watch like zero TV. People talk about movies and shows. I have no idea. My wife always says she would love to do a series of like a 45-year-old guy myself watching all like the classic movies and stuff. I don't watch anything. I don't know any movie, guys. Like literally, I don't watch any of them. I really didn't watch them growing up either. I mean, I saw some here or there, but I was out like running around playing sports and getting into stuff. I wasn't sitting there watching television, that's for sure. So yeah, I was just never a TV person. And so I've never seen most of the classic movies. I've never seen a lot of stuff. I've never seen almost every single show. I think one of the only recent shows that I had seen was what was I can't even think of the name of it, but the one where that show about like meth and stuff. What the hell was that called? I watched that. I watched The Sopranos, and I watched Tiger King. That's about the three series that I've watched in the last like 15 years, 20 years maybe. I don't even know, but I'm not even kidding. So yeah, and I don't even remember what the one name was. What the heck was the name of that show? It was that huge show, and I can't even think of it. My brain just doesn't work like that. But anyway, so there you go. I watch zero TV. So like I said, they're the three series I've watched in like the last couple like decade at least. And because of Sopranos has probably been way longer than a decade. So yeah, Sopranos, whatever the other meth show was, and when they were making meth, and yeah, the Tiger King during COVID. So there you go. That's about as much television as I've seen right there. And so yeah, that's that. And but the Tiger King is an interesting interview. I'm telling you, when you hear what he has to say, your eyes are going to just be like, what? My eyes were open the whole time. If you could see me while I was interviewing him, but I was just talking to him. I was like pretty much like I was in disbelief when he was telling me stuff. So it was pretty wild, everybody. So there you go. I'll post it up. You guys enjoy that. We'll keep an eye on this market, see what's going on with Powell. Maybe he's going to resign. I don't know. But look, I told you, this thing doesn't look too bad right here. I mean, it doesn't look great. It does look like it's coming down. But right at the moment, it looks like it's trying to go up. And if you want to see, I was already looking at this morning. Look at that curl up there on that 0.25 BP. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, these things look like they want to jump off cliffs. The last time that happened, we know what happened during the election when it looked like this. It was the day of the election. It was the popular vote, as a matter of fact. Harris was up here, and it was 75%, 25% Trump. And I looked at that thing and said, there's no way that thing's staying like that. That's going down. That's going 100%, and that's going to zero. And that's exactly what happened that morning. And that's how it ended up in the election. And I'm telling you guys, you might see a rate cut happening in July. Remember, I said it back a little bit like a month ago or so when these things were trying to get set up. You could see this, and then it fell back down, but that doesn't mean that it's not ready. Something's going on there. So there you go. And yeah, television. It's just a waste of time. It kills. Yeah, it kills my productivity too. Like I said, I can put sports on in the background and just like listen to it. I don't even really pay much attention to what's going on. But yeah, if I believe if I tried to watch TV, I probably wouldn't get anything done. So I just never really watch TV. I'd rather be doing fun stuff than sitting in front of the television. So that's just been me, and I've always been that way. But yeah, not a television guy. But I did see Tiger King, that's for sure. So there you go. But yeah, look at this Fed decision right here. And the other one was is is this dude going to be gone? Fed Chair Powell out by July 31st. And look at this guy right here. Let's see what it looks like. And I mean, it's 2% chance. It's been trying to curl up there. It doesn't look like it's anything crazy. And but yeah, we'll see if he is stepping down. What the hell is going on? But that looks like you might see a rate cut coming up in July, because again, we don't have anything in August, so we have to wait for September. And look at that, no change. That's gone, and there's definitely a 2.25 in September. You can see that already happening. And in October, you're probably going to see this curl way up and this come straight down. So you'll probably see another one. We'll pay attention to the October. It's a little far out now. But yeah, July, I'm telling you, you could see these things totally change direction right there. So I've been watching that as well, along with the market and everything else. So we'll see what's going on today, and we'll see what's happening at 8:30 in about a half hour or so when Powell's going to speak some banking conference. I believe it is Luis Rodriguez. I forget, but something like that. And we'll see what he has to say, and then we'll see how the market reacts. Excuse me. And then we have a lot of earnings coming up, so they seem to be beating earnings and pulling back. So I think we're going to see this pullback coming up. So play it appropriately and just be careful. You know, we've been a little cautious up here for a reason, guys. So there you go. Good pre-market review. And be sure to trade smart. Lock in those profits. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along on X and YouTube and all that good stuff. And goodbye. Good luck. See you later. And have a great day, everybody.